The wine glass slammed into the wall, missing Mia Decad's head by inches. She didn't flinch. The entire restaurant went dead quiet. Forks froze midair. Conversations died instantly. Everyone at Luciano's knew what happened to people who disrespected Dominic Belfort. Everyone except the waitress now staring him down, armed with nothing but a serving tray and nerves of steel. "You throwing another one?" Mia said, voice flat. "Or are you finally gonna act like a grown man and order your damn food?" Just moments earlier, Mia had been having the kind of night that made her question every life decision. 2 tables had walked out without tipping. The kitchen blamed her for 2 wrong orders. Her shoes were falling apart, and her feet were screaming. She was dead tired, broke, and barely functioning on 4 hours of sleep. Her second job at the hospital laundry started before sunrise. She didn't have time for spoiled men with money and no manners. So when the man in the $15,000 suit snapped his fingers at her like she was a mutt, she snapped right back. "Excuse me?" she said, turning slow. Dominic Belfort didn't even glance up at first. At 34, he had that dangerous kind of charm. Sharp cheekbones, darker than night eyes that noticed everything, and a presence that filled the room like smoke. His black hair was flawless. His suit was custom. His expression? Cold as stone. "The Bordeaux," he said without emotion. "It's off." "Send it back." Mia looked at the untouched $800 bottle. She'd opened it herself at his table 15 minutes ago. Perfect temperature. Perfect cork. Nothing wrong with it. "No, it's not," she said. The whole room seemed to get colder. The guy sitting across from Dominic, clearly not used to conflict, sucked in a nervous breath. 3 men at a nearby table, all in black, stiffened. Their hands drifted toward the inside of their jackets. Dominic set his phone down, slow and deliberate. Then he looked up. Really looked. His eyes locked on hers. And Mia felt the weight of it. The kind of stare that probably made grown men confess just to get it to stop. "What did you say to me?" "I said the wine's fine. If you don't like it, say that. Don't lie." Then, without a word, he picked up his wine glass and hurled it past her head. The glass shattered. The red wine exploded against the wall like blood. Everyone watched. Nobody breathed, but Mia Decad. She'd seen worse. Lived through worse. 3 foster homes. 2 abusive relationships. 6 months living out of her car. Fear. She didn't know her anymore. Dominic stood, tall, at least 6'2". Everything about him screamed control, power, and the promise of violence. Someone in the back whispered a prayer. "Do you even know who I am?" he said quietly. Mia cocked her head. "Should I care?" His eye twitched. "You're really playing with fire, yeah? Well, fire's not new to me. You don't scare me. Not tonight. Not ever." For a long, thick second, he didn't move. Just stared, calculating. Then came the smile. Not warm, not friendly. The kind of smile a lion gives before it eats you alive. "You're fired." "You can't fire me. You don't even work here. I own this place. Bought it 3 weeks ago." He checked his watch. "Which probably cost more than everything she owned. You have 30 seconds to walk out before I have you thrown out." The manager peeked out from behind the bar. Wouldn't meet her eyes. Mia felt her stomach drop. It was true. She was fired. Still, she wouldn't apologize. Couldn't. All she had left was her pride, and she wasn't trading it for rent money. "Fine," she said. She pulled the apron off and yanked the crumpled cash from the pocket. $43. She dropped both onto his table. "You know what? I actually feel bad for you." He raised an eyebrow. "What did you say?" "You heard me. You've got the suit, the money, the fear of everyone around you, and you still look like the loneliest man in the room. That's not power. That's pathetic." Then she walked away, head high, heart thudding. No plan, no job, no backup. Almost at the door, his voice stopped her. "Wait." She turned slowly. He was staring at her like she was a new language he was trying to learn. "What's your name?" She crossed her arms. "Why? Planning to report me to every restaurant in town? Your name." Something in the way he said it made her give in. Mia Decad." He nodded once, slow, deliberate. "You'll be hearing from me, Mia Decad." It should have ended there. But it didn't. Not even close. Because whatever Dominic Belfort came to Luciano's looking for that night, it wasn't wine. And what he found instead? A waitress who didn't flinch. A spark he didn't see coming. A problem he didn't know he needed. 3 days later, Mia Decad sat in the tiny room she called home, staring at her bank account. $217, that was it. Rent was due in 6 days, and she was already 3 weeks behind. She was running on ramen, stress, and pure stubbornness. Her phone buzzed with another email. Another job rejection. The 5th restaurant that week. Word had gotten around fast. Don't hire the girl who stood up to Dominic Belfort. She dropped her head into her hands. Her best friend Clarice kept telling her to apologize. Crawl back, beg. But Clarice didn't get it. Nobody did. Mia had spent her entire life being pushed around. By the system, by foster parents who treated her like free labor, by men who thought they could control her. She made a promise to herself at 17, never again. Never bow, never break. That promise was about to cost her everything. Across town, in a penthouse high above the city, Dominic Belfort stood at his floor-to-ceiling windows. Lake Michigan shimmered beneath the sky. He held a glass of scotch he hadn't touched. You're still thinking about her, his right-hand man Luca said quietly. Dominic didn't respond. She was different, Luca offered. She didn't flinch. Dominic said finally, nobody does that, not to me, not anymore. In his world, people were either afraid of him or wanted something. Mia Decad had done neither. She had looked him straight in the face and called him sad. And now he couldn't get her out of his head. So why fire her just to have me dig into her background? Luca asked. Dominic turned slowly. Because I need to know if she was a threat. Or something else. Luca looked down at the tablet in his hands. Mia Decad. 28. No family. Grew up in the system. Bounced around foster homes until 18. Clean record, 2 jobs, behind on rent. Medical bills from a car accident last year. No ties to any family. No red flags, just hard life. Dominic felt something strange. A twinge. Not quite guilt, but something close. And the other thing? He asked, voice low. Luca's expression darkened. Confirmed. Someone inside your operation is moving product without approval, skimming. We don't know who yet, but it's someone close. Dominic's jaw clenched. Betrayal in his house? Someone thought they could steal from him? Double the surveillance. Quietly. I want everything. His phone rang. Unknown number. He answered. Yes? Is this Dominic Belfort? A woman's voice, familiar, calm, fearless. His brow lifted. Mia, yeah. Listen, I've got a proposition. Don't hang up, just hear me out. He didn't say a word, but he didn't hang up either. I need money. You have it. So here it is. I'll work for you. Not at the restaurant. I know that ship sank. But anything else. Assistant, cleaner, I don't care. I work hard. I show up. I need a job. Please. The last word landed hard. He heard it. The desperation tucked beneath the pride. You know who I am, he said quietly. What I do, a pause. I've heard rumors, and yeah, I'm still calling, because I'm out of options. Pride doesn't cover bills. Her voice was even, but he could hear the fear fighting with courage. Her voice was even, but he could hear the fear fighting with courage. So? You got work for a mouthy waitress who doesn't know when to shut up? He smiled slowly. An idea forming, one that could be risky, one that might just work. He needed someone to find the traitor. Someone no one would suspect. Someone smart, bold, desperate. Be at my office, tomorrow, 10 a.m. Belfort Enterprises. Top floor. He gave her the address. Don't be late. And Mia? Yeah? Wear something professional. He hung up. Luca stared. Boss, what are you doing? Dominic turned back to the window. Something very smart. Or very, very stupid. Either way, the game had just changed. Mia stood in front of Belfort Enterprises, the glass and steel tower rising like a monument to money and power. She looked down at herself. Thrift store blazer, slacks ironed within an inch of their life, shoes that had seen better years. Not exactly luxury chic, but the best she had. Inside, the lobby screamed wealth. Polished floors, sharp-dressed receptionists, and a security desk that tracked every movement. When she said her name, the woman behind the counter gave her a once-over like Mia had just crawled out of a sewer. Mr. Belfort is expecting you. Top floor. The elevator ride felt like a countdown to judgment. Dominic's office was ridiculous. All glass walls, leather furniture, and a view of Lake Michigan that probably cost more than her childhood. He stood with his back to her, dressed in a navy suit so sharp it could cut. "You came?" he said without turning. "You doubted I would? Most people run from me. You keep walking closer." Then he turned. Those dark eyes locked on her. Mia held her ground, even as her heart kicked against her ribs. "Why is that?" he asked. "Because I need this job." "No. There's something else. You're not afraid of me, should I be?" "Yes." He moved toward her slowly, like a predator. Stopped 3 feet away. "I'm going to offer you something, but I need to know you can keep your mouth shut when it counts." Her pulse jumped. "Depends. What am I keeping quiet about?" "Someone in my circle is stealing from me. Moving product. Skimming money. I don't know who. I need someone they won't notice. Someone invisible. Someone like you. You want me to spy. I want you to help me find a traitor. I'll pay you 20 grand. Her knees nearly buckled. That was rent, food, her car, her medical bills, a second chance. "Why me?" "Because no one knows you. Because you're smart. Because you notice things most don't. And," he hesitated, "because I trust my gut. And my gut says you're loyal. You don't even know me. I know you work 2 jobs. I know you don't apologize when you believe you're right. I know you called me for help when you had nothing left." Mia swallowed. He wasn't wrong. What would I be doing exactly? "Tomorrow night I'm hosting a gala. Everyone who matters in my business will be there, including whoever's betraying me. You'll attend as my date. Look, listen, watch who acts off, who avoids eye contact, who's too confident. Then report back." Her voice cracked. "Your date?" "A cover, nothing more." But the way his eyes moved over her face said it wasn't that simple. "One night. Help me find suspects. I'll pay you 10 grand up front. 10,000 tomorrow." She could breathe again, think again, survive. And if something goes wrong, if they find out what I'm doing? Dominic stepped closer than was appropriate, close enough to smell his cologne, rich and dark. "Then I protect you. You'll be under my protection. No one touches what's mine." His voice dropped on the last word. Mia felt a chill that wasn't fear. "Something else." "This is insane," she whispered. "Yes," he said softly. "Is that a no?" She looked up at him, saw something unexpected in his eyes. Not just control, not just danger, loneliness. She knew that look. "One condition," she said. "You tell me the truth, all of it. What I'm walking into, what the risks are. No surprises." "Agreed," she nodded. "Then yes, I'll do it." He smiled, slowly, and for the first time he looked human. Partners. He extended his hand. Mia took it. His grip was firm, warm. They didn't let go right away. The space between them thickened. "Tomorrow night," he said. "I'll send a car at 7. And what should I wear? Something that makes them underestimate you. Pretty, harmless, forgettable." His thumb brushed across her knuckles. She couldn't tell if it was on purpose. "Can you do that?" She pulled her hand away, her skin tingling. "I've been underestimated my whole life. That part's easy." What she didn't say? Pretending this is just business? That's going to be the hard part. The dress arrived in a sleek black garment bag, hanging from her doorknob like a dare. Inside was a deep emerald gown that shimmered when it caught the light. It was elegant, expensive, and impossibly perfect. There was a note. "Green suits your eyes when you're mad." Despite everything, Mia smiled. By 6:30, she was ready. Hair down in soft waves, light makeup, and that green dress hugging her like it had been made just for her. Maybe it had. Somehow he'd gotten her size right. That should have creeped her out. Instead, it made her chest flutter. The black SUV showed up at exactly 7. Tinted windows, silent driver, the whole Mafia drama vibe. Dominic was waiting in the lobby of the event hall. When he saw her, he went still. His eyes raked over her like he couldn't decide if she was real. "Harmless enough?" she asked, suddenly nervous. He blinked, caught himself. "You look perfect," he offered his arm. "Back to business, remember. You're my date. Smile, observe, stay close." She raised an eyebrow. "Stay close? That part really about the job?" His lips twitched. "You're perceptive. That's why I brought you." The gala was held at the Chicago History Museum. Old money met organized crime, dressed in designer clothes, sipping champagne while pretending they weren't afraid of each other. A string quartet played softly in the background. The air smelled like perfume and quiet tension. Dominic's hand rested lightly on her lower back. Warm, possessive. It should have felt suffocating. Instead, it steadied her. "See the man in the gray suit?" Dominic murmured. "Vincent Corleone, my second in command, loyal since we were teens. Trust him with my life, but even that trust has limits." He leaned in slightly. "The woman in red? Anastasia Anderton. Runs my shipping division. Smart, sharp, maybe too ambitious." They moved through the crowd like shadows. Mia noticed how eyes followed them. Curious, suspicious, jealous. Some women looked at her like she didn't belong. Some men looked at her like she was a prize Dominic had claimed. "You didn't tell people you were bringing someone," she whispered. "I never bring anyone. You're causing quite the stir." He almost sounded pleased. For the next hour, he introduced her to his world. Handshakes and smiles that felt more like veiled threats. Mia watched. Who avoided eye contact? Who held it too long? Who shook with sweaty palms? Thomas Prospero, the accountant, was sweating through his designer collar. Anastasia kept checking her phone. Vincent's eyes kept flicking toward Dominic, like he wanted to say something but didn't. "We need to talk," she whispered during a quiet moment. He led her onto the balcony. The city stretched out in glittering silence. Alone under the stars, it felt like they were suspended above the world. "Tell me. Your accountant is a wreck. Your shipping manager is distracted. And Vincent? He keeps looking at you like you're already dead. What are you not telling me?" Dominic looked away. "Jaw tight. Vincent thinks I'm being reckless. That investigating from the inside will start a war." Is he wrong? Probably not. He turned to her fully, and for a moment he didn't look like the untouchable boss. He looked young, tired, real. "My father let betrayal slide once. Got him killed. I was 19. I watched him bleed out in our kitchen. Swore I'd never repeat his mistake." Mia touched his hand without thinking. His eyes dropped to where her fingers rested against his. "I'm sorry." He stared at their hands like he didn't understand what comfort was. "Why do you touch me like that? Like you're not afraid, because I'm not. I told you, I'm not everyone." She should have pulled back. She didn't. And neither did he. "You're not as terrifying as you think," she added. He turned his hand over, threading his fingers through hers. "Then what am I?" "Lonely," she thought. "Broken. Dangerous. Human. Complicated," she said aloud. His thumb traced circles on her palm, and it felt like electricity shot up her spine. "Whatever this is," she whispered. "It's a terrible idea. The worst." They were inches apart now. His hand brushed her jaw. Her breath hitched. "Mia," he said low. "Boss," a voice cut in. "Vincent." They broke apart fast. Vincent looked pale. "We have a problem. 2 of our warehouses, raided FBI tonight." Dominic froze. "How?" "Someone tipped them off. Someone who knew we'd all be here." His eyes slid to Mia. The implication was loud. "You think she did this?" Vincent hesitated. "It's a hell of a coincidence, boss. You bring a stranger in, and hours later we get hit. Standard protocol. She needs to be questioned." "Like hell." Mia squeezed Dominic's hand. "Let go. It's fine. I have nothing to hide." But as Vincent led her away, Mia caught Anastasia watching them, smiling, and in that moment, she knew. This wasn't coincidence. This was a setup, and someone wanted her out of the way. The room was small, windowless, and cold. Mia sat on a metal chair across from Vincent, who looked uncomfortable, almost guilty. Behind him stood 3 men built like trucks, arms crossed, faces unreadable. "I need your phone," Vincent said quietly. Mia handed it over. "You won't find anything." "Where were you yesterday between 2 and 4 p.m.? "At home, alone. No alibi then." "At home, alone. No alibi then." The air filled with smoke and heat and the deafening sound of war. Mia stayed close, heart pounding, every nerve screaming. She clutched the pistol Dominic had given her, hands steady despite the chaos. They turned a corner just as a figure lunged from the shadows. Mia raised the gun and fired. 1 shot. The man dropped. Dominic looked back at her. "You said you could shoot." "I wasn't lying. Remind me never to piss you off." They were 10 feet from the panic room when a voice crackled over the speaker system. Cold, feminine, Dominic Belfort. The man who murdered my father, Anastasia. Mia froze. Dominic's jaw clenched. Tonight, the voice continued, you pay. Dominic shouted back, your father was a traitor. He was mine. And now, I'll take everything you have. More men flooded in. Dominic grabbed Mia and pushed her toward the reinforced door. Go! Not without you. I'll be right behind. The explosion tore through the room. Mia hit the wall hard. Her ears rang. Smoke filled her lungs. She saw Dominic on the floor, bleeding from his shoulder, 3 armed men closing in. No! She screamed, raising her gun. She fired until it clicked empty. Arms grabbed her from behind. She kicked, fought, bit, but there were too many. Dominic was shouting her name. Then everything went dark as a hood was thrown over her head. She woke in a basement. Concrete floors, tied hands, aching head. Her wrists were zip-tied tight. Anastasia's heels clicked on the floor. Don't worry. You're not the target. Just the leverage. Where is he? Alive for now. He's coming for you. Already texted me. Said, name your terms. He's going to walk straight into death. For a waitress he barely knows. She crouched in front of Mia, eyes burning with hate. He killed my father. Now I'll kill him. But first I want him to watch me kill you. She stood and walked out. The door slammed shut. Heavy locks turned. Mia sat in silence, forcing herself to breathe. She couldn't panic. Couldn't cry. She'd been through worse. Locked in closets. Abused. Forgotten. And she hadn't broken then. She wouldn't break now. She started searching. Feeling along the wall, her fingers found a jagged crack near the floor, a rough edge. She began sewing the plastic tie against it. Her wrists burned. Her skin tore, but she didn't stop. Come on. Come on. Minutes passed. Then snap. She was free. No weapon. No backup. But she was no longer helpless. Above her, muffled voices. He's coming. Belfort brought backup. 20 guys. Doesn't matter. Anastasia wants him alive to suffer. Mia's heart jumped. Dominic wasn't coming alone. But he wouldn't make it if Anastasia used her as bait. Mia searched the basement. Storage boxes, chains, a rusted metal pipe. She picked it up. Heavy, solid. The basement door was locked. But the hinges were inside. She smiled grimly. 3 years ago, a slumlord had locked her out of her room. She learned to remove hinges with a butter knife. Now she had a pipe. She worked the first pin loose. Then the second. The door shifted. She eased it open. She crept out into a warehouse. 3 guards stood with their backs to her, watching the chaos outside. Dominic was already fighting. They hadn't noticed her. She moved fast. 1 hit to the back of the knees. The man went down. Second swing to the skull. Out cold, she grabbed his gun. Hey! She turned, fired, 1 shot. The second guard fell. The third raised his weapon, then dropped as a bullet hit him from the shadows. Vincent stepped out. You're supposed to be locked up. Yeah, well, I'm bad at following orders. She checked the magazine. Where's Dominic? Front entrance. Drawing fire. Anastasia's upstairs. With a sniper. He paused. She thinks you're still locked up. If she sees you free, she'll know it's a trap. Then she doesn't see me. Mia squared her shoulders. Where's her office? 2nd floor, east side. But she's got 5 guards. I'm not asking permission. He came for me. I'm going for him. You in? Vincent smiled. Boss chose well. Let's go. He handed her a spare magazine. Try not to die. He'd never forgive either of us. They moved fast through the chaos. Shots rang out outside. The building shook with the battle. At the 2nd floor, they paused outside Anastasia's office. 2 guards, Vincent whispered. Mia stepped into view, pretending to stumble. Help, please. She locked me. The guards moved toward her, weapons lowering just enough. Vincent took the left. Mia took the right. 2 shots. 2 bodies down. You're getting scary good at this, Vincent muttered. Motivated learner. They stacked against the door. Inside, Anastasia was yelling. Check again. She can't be gone. Mia nodded. Now or never. Mia kicked the door open with everything she had. The office was sleek and cold. Modern furniture, huge glass windows, and a view of the chaos outside. Anastasia stood behind a desk, phone in one hand, gun in the other. 2 guards beside her spun around, shocked. "Looking for me?" Mia said, gun raised. Anastasia's face twisted in fury. "Killer!" The guards lifted their weapons. Vincent shot first. 1 man dropped. Mia ducked behind a leather couch as bullets flew, the other guard firing wildly. She popped up, fired 2 shots, hitting him in the shoulder. He crumpled. Smoke filled the air. Only Mia and Anastasia remained. Both aiming. "You should have stayed in the basement," Anastasia hissed. "You should have picked a softer target." "I don't break." Anastasia's finger tensed on the trigger. "Mia, down!" Dominic crashed through the office window, glass raining around him. He tackled Anastasia hard, her gun skidding across the floor. They hit the ground, rolling, fists flying. Anastasia slashed with a hidden knife, nicking Dominic's shoulder. He grabbed her wrist, slammed it into the floor once, twice, until she screamed and dropped the blade. "You killed my father," she shrieked. "He betrayed everyone. He got my father killed. I was 12. He was all I had, and you took him." Dominic pinned her down, breathing hard. "I know what it means to lose everything. But this, all this, it won't bring him back." Anastasia sobbed beneath him, hatred pouring off her in waves. "Do it," she snarled. "Kill me." Dominic looked down at her, then slowly reached into his pocket and pulled out zip ties. He bound her wrists, tight. "No, you're going to prison. You're going to live with this." He stood, chest heaving. Then he turned and saw Mia, her green dress torn, blood on her hands, her gun shaking slightly. The most beautiful thing he'd ever seen. "You came for me," she whispered. He crossed the room in 3 long strides and pulled her into his arms. "Are you hurt?" "No, you? I'll live." He cupped her face, thumbs brushing away tears she didn't know she'd been shedding. "You escaped. Saved yourself." "I learned from the best," she whispered. "We make a good team. The best." He kissed her, soft this time. No desperation, just truth. Vincent stood in the doorway, awkward. Boss? Cops are here. Real ones." Dominic didn't look away from Mia. "Let them in. We tell the truth. Anastasia Anderton tried to overthrow me, tried to kill me. We defended ourselves." Vincent nodded at Anastasia, who lay sobbing on the floor. "Let the law have her." "I'm done with vendettas." Dominic looked at Mia. "I'm done with a lot of things." She tilted her head. "Like what?" "Like living alone. Like not trusting anyone. Like pretending I don't feel anything." His voice dropped, barely a breath. "Like pretending I'm not in love with a fearless waitress who flipped my world upside down." Mia stared at him, heart pounding. "Dominic, you don't have to say it back. I just needed you to know. You walked into my life, didn't flinch, and showed me what real courage looks like." He smiled then, a real smile, the kind that melted everything else away. "So whatever comes next, jail, cleanup, rebuilding, I want you there. With me, if you'll have me." She looked at him, this dangerous man who'd chosen mercy over revenge, who had risked everything to protect her, who had fallen for her not despite her scars but because of them. "Man, don't dare me," she whispered. "Is that a yes?" "That's a promise." He pulled her close again, and this time, the world didn't crash down around them. It opened. The next 72 hours blurred by, police came. So did the real FBI. Anastasia spilled everything to get a lighter sentence. Names, deals, corruption, every dirty secret her father left behind. Ironically, her confession cleared Dominic of a dozen open investigations. Most of what the feds thought he did, she had orchestrated it all. "You're free to go, Mr. Belfort," the agent said, closing his folder. "Though we suggest you go legit. This is a rare second chance. Don't waste it." Outside the federal building, Dominic took a deep breath of cold air. For the first time in years, it felt clean. "You okay?" Mia asked, standing beside him. He looked down at his hands. Hands that had built an empire through fear. "I think so. But what now? Who am I if I'm not the man people fear? What do you want to be?" He was quiet, thinking. Then he looked at her. "You make me want to be better. Not just for me. For us. Dominic, you don't have to change who you are." "I want to. I'm going legitimate. The legal side of Belfort Enterprises makes more than enough. I'll shut down the rest. Work with authorities. Rebuild. The right way. He took her hands. It won't be easy. Some of my people won't like it. I'll lose friends. Maybe enemies will come back. But I want you by my side. Help me do this. She smiled. What's the pay? How about partner? Equal stake in everything. Legal everything. Her eyes widened. That's generous. That's selfish. I need you. You see clearly. You keep me honest. You're the only one I trust. She stepped closer. Then I have one condition. Name it. I want to start a foundation. For foster kids. Give them what I never had. Housing, education, support. His expression softened. Our money. Our mission. Absolutely. He kissed her on the courthouse steps, in full view of the press, the public, and the city he once ruled through fear. He didn't care. All that mattered was the woman who dared him to be better. 3 weeks later, Mia stood in Dominic's new office overlooking Chicago. Vincent walked in holding a folder. The transition's complete. You're officially out of the illegal stuff. Some of the guys aren't thrilled, but they'll adjust. Or leave. And you? Dominic asked. Vincent shrugged. Someone's got to keep you out of trouble. And she's good for you. Best decision you ever made. After he left, Dominic walked over to Mia, wrapping his arms around her waist. Any regrets? Just one, she said, teasing. That you threw that wine glass. Could have met under nicer circumstances. He chuckled. Please, if I'd been polite, you'd have forgotten me by dessert. Fair. I like you better dangerous and reformed. Dangerous, huh? I can work with that. She turned in his arms. You did it, Dom. You walked away from the life. We did it. You gave me something to fight for, something worth building. He grew serious. I love you, Mia Decad. I know it's fast, complicated, but I've never been more sure. She cupped his face. I love you too. My dangerous, complicated man, he smiled. Decent even? Decent's a stretch. But you're my stretch. She laughed, but he didn't. Instead, he pulled out a small velvet box. What's that? A proposal. Not just business. Life, family, forever. Marry me, Mia. Be my partner in everything. She stared at the simple, perfect ring. Her voice was barely a whisper. Man, don't dare me. Too late. Yes. Yes, I'll marry you. He slipped the ring on her finger. The scared girl who never bowed, and the feared man who learned how to love, finally found what they needed. Home. That evening, Dominic took Mia back to Luciano's. Whispers rippled through the restaurant. The fired waitress. The boss. Dominic didn't sit at his usual table. Instead, he walked to the small corner booth where Mia used to take her breaks. This seat taken? Mia slid in across from him, her ring catching the light. I think we can make room. The manager approached, clearly rattled. Mr. Belford, I can set up the private section? No need, Dominic said. Actually, I have an announcement. As of today, this restaurant has new management. Mia will be running operations. The manager blinked. Sir, I'm just a silent partner now. She's the boss. Any problems with that? No, sir. Welcome back, Miss Decad. After he left, Mia looked at Dominic. You just gave me a restaurant. I gave you the place where everything changed. The first place you stood up to me. He took her hand. You care about these people. You know what it's like to fight for every dollar. You'll make it better. She nodded, emotion in her throat. Thank you for seeing me, believing in me. Thank you, he said softly, for not flinching, for daring me to change. They ordered the cheapest bottle of wine on the menu, no sommelier, just two people who had survived hell and chosen to build something new. To new beginnings, Dominic toasted. To second chances, Mia replied. Their glasses clinked. Across the city, change was already spreading. Anastasia sat in federal prison. Vincent was cleaning up the business. The foundation was underway, and in this little booth, something rare was born. Peace, partnership, love. Mia raised her glass again. One last toast, to the fearless and the feared. May we never stop daring each other to be better. Dominic's smile was soft, honest. Man, don't dare me. Too late, Mia whispered. I'm going to dare you every day for the rest of our lives. Promise, promise. Day for the rest of our lives. Promise, promise.